Mom, I got a kid on the way. I gotta go pregnant, Mom.
Yeah.
Thanks for watching, everybody. Now, if you want to see more,
I swear.
click here. And be sure to subscribe to be the first to know about new videos.
Devon, your mic muted.
You need a job to take care of that.
But could you help me?
Let's welcome Deja.
What?
Now, Deja is a hard-working mother who is raising 4 grown children who she loves with all of her heart. Unfortunately, Deja believes at least one of her children has betrayed her and stolen money from her. Now, we're not talking about...
Whole season here. They put no seeds in here to grow.
I should have bought them.
He's reaching out. Eric there. There's the tag. And the tag team champions could be cooking again. Get up. Get up. Get up. What's on Eric's mind? Get up. Oh, no. Looking for a power blow. This is what he's talking about. Get up.
I can.
Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, man. Right on that apron, then onto the floor. Eric witnessing what happened. Armbar with a nasty crash to the outside. Eric's all by himself. Oh, Buddy Murphy. Eric's out. Wait, what? Eric may be out. No! Oh, Seth Rollins! Murphy moving past the official. Gotta do it. Cover. Gotta do it. And you got new tag team champions. Here are your winners. And the new Raw Tag Team Champions, Buddy Murphy, and the Monday Night Messiah, Seth Rollins. Well, how about you think? Are you a believer now? Look at this. Big bang catastrophe, Wiley. Become the NXT North American champion.
NXT North American champion,
And now, the exposed turnbuckle. Nakamura off the turnbuckle. Wasn't supposed to go like that. It backfired. Running power slam. Here's the cover by Strowman. Strowman wins it. He's the Intercontinental Champion. Here is the winner and the new Intercontinental Champion. Finally, Braun Strowman has won his first singles championship in WWE. How sweet it is for the Monster Among Men.
Monster Black, Alistair.
oh,
Ugly ass.
Just like fine wine,
Yeah.
the longer Parmesan is aged, the nicer it typically is.
Can you
This
be a
wheel right
baby?
here is
Can you be
24 months
gonna?
old, and you can actually sell
Okay.
Parmesan before it's been aged at least 12 months. So this is a pretty good wheel of Parmesan cheese right here. Let me put it this way. I don't have anything left in my piggy bank after this one. Alright, so here's how it's going to go down. We're making pasta inside this wheel, but first we have to cut it in half. So we're going to cut it like this. I want to show you these two knives, because this will be the first knife that I use. And I just thought I'd show this in comparison to this, the knife I typically use in videos. We actually don't need my regular chef's knife, so I can put it to the side. Now to start, we're going to take this cute little knife right here and score around the entire wheel of Parmesan. What's actually really cool is that they pretty much give us a line right down the middle to perfectly do this scoring. For right now, I'm just trying to get that initial line. I'm going to come back around it again to get a deeper line, but for now, this is all I need. Once I've gotten this nice line around the cheese, I'm actually
Startling facts that you wish you never knew. Part 21. This photo shows an 8-month-old Zhao Bao who was lucky to be alive because his mother stabbed him 90 times after he bit her one time. The world's scariest haunted house, McCamey Manor, requires you to sign a 40-page waiver and undergo a physical and mental evaluation. If you manage to make it through the house, you could win $20,000. But to this day, no one has ever.
Yeah, get
The little girl
fly.
who voiced Ducky in The Land Before Time was shot
Okay,
to death
yeah,
by her
get
father and then committed suicide. Roman Emperor Nero had a boy castrated, dressed him up as a bride, and married him, all because the boy looked similar to his previous dead wife. A 46-year-old man found and attacked a 13-year-old boy because the kid was killing him too many times in a game of Call of Duty. Uncurling facts that you wish you never knew. Part 22. In the 18th century, you could bring your cat or dog to the London Zoo and actually pay your admission by feeding it to the lions. Bus seats are specifically designed so you can't tell how dirty they really are. When an octopus reproduces, it removes its penis and throws it at the female so she can impregnate herself and then grow back another one. Oysters are actually alive when they're served. They don't die until you eat them. In Australia, there's a plant called the Gimbi Gimbi, which has such a severe sting that when horses brush up against it, they actually throw themselves off a cliff because they would rather die than experience the pain. Live chat support agents can see what you type before they send it so they can reply quicker. Spider rain, yes, you heard me right, is a real and naturally occurring phenomenon. Blood-curdling facts that you wish you never knew. Part 23. In 2008, 3 Texas teenagers were arrested after they dug up a skeleton and used the skull as a bomb. The police later found that the skull belonged to an 11-year-old boy. While uncommon, there have been many cases of people's intestines being sucked out by vacuum toilets on airplanes. So if you want to keep your rectum, be sure to stand up before you flush. Every single fig has had at least one wasp die inside. Nosebleeds can bleed out of your eye sockets. And it's possible to be allergic to your own blood. There's a rare phenomenon called a stone baby where a fetus dies and doesn't get absorbed by the body. And people have been known to carry these fetuses for up to 40 years, completely unaware. There's a shack in Louisiana called the Devil's Toy Box where people supposedly lose their minds after spending any amount of time there. Scariest medical mistakes that will make you terrified of going to the hospital. After losing her mom to breast and ovarian cancer, 36-year-old Alicia underwent medical testing to find out if she carried the genes for these same cancers. The test results showed that she was extremely likely to develop the same cancers that took her mother's life, so she went in to get her breast, ovaries, and uterus removed. A few weeks later, she went to a different doctor and learned that all the tests were actually negative, and she had all her surgeries. A 73-year-old man named Sherman Sizemore underwent a surgery to find out the cause of his abdominal pain. But unfortunately, he experienced what's called anesthesia awareness, meaning that he felt every bit of pressure and pain that occurred during the first 16 minutes of his operation. Following the procedure, he experienced PTSD from the operation and thought people were trying to bury him alive, eventually causing him to take his own life. When this story's over, you're gonna remember 3 words. A college student went backpacking alone for a few weeks in the Austrian mountains. He was in the middle of the wilderness with no human in sight for miles. Over the course of nearly 3 weeks, he saw only one other person paddling along in a canoe across the water. About halfway through the trip, the boy was very low on supplies. His phone was almost dead, he was out of food, and he only had one plastic water bottle left. He dug through his bag and luckily found a disposable camera, so he was able to capture a few pictures along.
Come on, let me clip this
When he
kid.
returned home, he got the pictures developed and began to look through them. He sorted through about 15 or so nature shots until he came across a picture that stood out to him. It was a photo of the boy sleeping on his stomach. He was shirtless and his back was covered in blood. He immediately took off his shirt to discover his back was scarred with 3 words etched on his skin. And if you want to know what the 3 words were, go to Liquid Death's page to find out. Blood-curdling facts that you wish you never knew, part 20. During World War II, Disney released their own version of the gas mask, designed to make them less creepy for children. In 2014, after losing her 5-day-old baby boy, a mother attached a gravestone to a sandbox so her older son could play with him. The CPR doll space that we use today is actually from a 19th century drowned woman's face. There's a forbidden island off the coast of Brazil called Snake Island that's home to more than 2,000 deadly golden lancehead snakes. Starfish actually have hundreds of tiny little feet and are able to walk on land, but it looks absolutely horrifying. A man by the name of Timothy Clark Smith was so fearful that he was going to be buried alive that he had his own gravesite customized so he could have a window where his face was and also have a rope attached to a bell so he could bring it to alert people that he was alive. Why are women so attracted to serial killers? Ted Bundy, Richard Ramirez, Charles Manson. These men have a lot in common. High cheekbones, strong jawlines, and symmetrical faces. But most importantly,
Let me try to clip this kid chat.
58 people that we know of.
Oh my god, bro, I'm choking so bad.
When these men were convicted of these crimes, they received countless fan mail from female admirers. They would actually send them nude photographs, love letters, and would completely thirst over a guy that would eat them for dinner. Now, some claim women desire these men because they're the ultimate bad boy, and the woman can nurture him back to good. They think, oh, he would never kill me, and then they turn into the next victim. Others, such as Joe Rogan and his podcast, believe that this comes from an evolutionary benefit to become close to killers. Because back in the day, murder was pretty common, so of course a girl would want to be with a guy who could prevent that. But ultimately, the question remains, this is why you should always lock your doors. 2 teenage girls were working the night shift at a Pizza Hut when they realized it was 11 o'clock, meaning that it was time to close up shop. They turned off the lights, locked the doors, and began to walk outside. But as they approached their car, they realized there was an old lady sitting in the front passenger seat. One of the girls opened the driver's side door and asked the old woman, "Can I help you?" To which she replied, "I just need a ride home." The girls then told her that they needed to go back inside to call their moms and tell them that they'd be late. They immediately ran back inside, locked the doors, and proceeded to call the police, who showed up about 10 minutes later and arrested her. As it turns out, it was actually a 47-year-old man dressed up like an old woman, and the police found drugs and a knife on his body. Let's talk about the Barbie and Ken killers. Paul Bergardo and Carla Homolka met at a bar in Canada in 1987. They got married just 2 months later, and over the course of nearly 3 years, murdered at least
Come on,
3
chat.
teenage
Let
girls.
me.
The first victim was Carla's little sister Tammy, who the couple drugged with animal tranquilizers, raped, and tortured to death. The second was 14-year-old Leslie.
Come on, bro.
who the couple brutally
Oh my goodness, bro, I clipped that kid.
before strangling Leslie and cutting her body up into little pieces and placing them into concrete blocks. The third victim